far as what my takeaways, because I don't want to like get too much into the play-by-play from first quarter to fourth quarter. I just wanted to kind of highlight a couple players that are, a couple guys that jumped out at me. One thing, it was good to see Jamison Williams healthy, 100% healthy, out there running. Last year they were kind of hiding him out there or just throwing him in there in scenarios and stuff like that. So it was good to see him get a full he played like the whole first half or the first three quarters maybe.
Yeah, he played more than a series or two. It was at least a half.
Yeah, it was a good half. So it was good, regardless of the drop, which I was kind of like, but it was good to see him healthy and doing the full blown run around out there.
Wait, hold on before you go. The drop, and in my opinion, I'm strict on this.
Yeah.
He alligator armed one of the throws that led to the second interception. In my opinion, fight me if you want to, but he kind of halfway threw that arm up there. So,
yeah.
But I don't want to be overly critical of Jamo. He's my favorite player on the team. So, St. Brown is, but I ain't,
he's definitely one of the faces on the team. Yeah.
Yeah, but he made a great 2-point conversion catch though.
Yes, we cannot forget about that. That was huge. That was huge. So
yeah.
But outside of that, so Gibbs. It was good to see Gibbs get out there and see him actually run some routes. It just goes to show that they are really going to try to utilize him as far as catching balls in the air. I don't think the offensive line was great, so it made it difficult to really evaluate any of our running backs.
Yeah, it looked.
I didn't see no holes out there
versus the run, and in the pass they were kind of iffy as well.
Yeah,
maybe it's just first game jitters. Was that the majority starters that played?
The offensive line?
Yeah.
I don't think Sewell and
I don't think Sewell played.
Yeah. Maybe it was part of it, but I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think any of the primary starters played. We know Goff, Marvin Jones. We know a lot of those guys didn't play, so maybe some of the offensive line did, but I was under the impression that most of the offensive line didn't play this game.
Did Montgomery play?
No,
I didn't see him. Okay,
oh, Gibbs. It was Gibbs was the.
I know Gibbs got the start.
Yeah,
and
we saw Ibrahim, and we saw
Ibrahim, but he was limping around. He didn't. He looked like he got injured. He was limping around a little bit.
Yeah,
and they pulled him. So offensively, you have an offensive player of the game? Is it too early to jump into that, or should we talk some more?
Well, no, yeah, we can get into the offensive side, and then we'll get onto the defense. I got more to say about the defense really than anything. But
okay. We'll get the offense out the way.
Yeah. So, before we get to the offensive player of the game, because I think it was a 1A, 1B personally, but James Mitchell, the backup tight end. Well, because I think all the tight ends played from Okwara to Brock Wright to James Mitchell, but Mitchell had a good 50 yards. He was able to break some long runs off of just short check down routes. But I like it. I think that the tight end room is looking real strong based upon what we expect Laporta to do. But I feel like James Mitchell kind of showed. I feel like he kind of led the way and kind of showed what we want to do as far as the tight end.
Yeah.
But I think Coda. I think Chad Coda.
Hey, undrafted. I was a fan of his at Oregon.
Right.
I thought it was a great free agent pickup. I mean, undrafted pickup. I thought it was a good pickup. He's 6'4", runs about a 4.5 40.
Yeah.
And He was sure-handed at Oregon.
It
And
just looked
he
like he
played
knew the
very
offense to me. Like it just seemed like something about it is like I feel like
he was
he
very
really
comfortable.
he looked comfortable. That's exactly the
He
word
looked
I was
very
thinking of.
comfortable.
Yeah.
I thought Laporta didn't play well.
Yeah.
Sad. I mean, he was our featured player of the week last week. I hope we didn't jinx. Like,
Yeah. It's
because
early. It's early.
this week's player of the week, I mean, featured player, he better not. We're gonna talk about that later, but
Yeah,
let's
we're gonna get
talk
to it.
about the defense.
Okay, the defense. I liked our defensive defensive line play. Kaminsky and Pascal seemed like they were in the backfield a lot throughout the first half when they were playing. We talked about Pascal a little last week and how he now feels so much more comfortable because he was hurt last training camp. He didn't do anything throughout the training camp, and he missed the first couple games of the year. So this kind of shows and proves what how much better you can be now that you've been able to get your feet wet a little bit and you have some experience. So I really like what they did. Jack Campbell he just looked like he was ready, like he had been chomping at the bit to hit somebody the whole camp. So he really
Let me tell you something, Foster. I got to interject.
What's up?
Remember last week when I said Barnes, his development would mean so much to the defense. It was crazy. And he made the first tackle of the game.
Yeah.
He made the first defensive tackle out the gate. And it was like he came up from his linebacking position. He didn't let the running back get outside and made a stop. Soon as I think it was like a 1 yard gain, if that.
Right.
So
yep.
The defense looked very good in that first stance.
Yeah. And Jack Campbell, they said, had the highest defensive rating of all the rookies thus far. I don't know exactly what goes into that, but sounds good to me.
Yeah, 4 tackles and a pass breakup, and he was hustling.
Yeah,
he was getting to the ball carrier.
And Brian Branch probably gave us the biggest excitement as far as rookie making an impact. That hit on Cole Beasley. I saw that play back and I saw how it kind of broke out. It was basically Cole Beasley, running a flat, and Kaminsky, because within that first 5 yards you can chuck the receiver. So Kaminsky did his job in getting a piece of Cole Beasley as he was coming across, and it gave Branch a chance to kind of catch up to him, because when you're a safety and you're a distance back, you're in chase mode from the very beginning. But Kaminsky threw off the timing just enough to where it timed. Branch was in a perfect position to lay the wood, and that was exciting to see, because, like I said, you want to see that translate from the great camp to on the field, and Branch really showed you, like, this is what I do. So
yeah, for sure.
But I don't want to. I can't get out of here without acknowledging the Okwara brothers, because they accounted for 4 sacks altogether. Julian had 3. Julian, I feel like, was one of those guys that was on the line as far as whether or not he was going to make the team, but
they didn't know if he was going to crack the roster.
Yeah, and I think that because he's an end, but he also can play that outside linebacker. I think that's what's gonna make it easier for them to bring him in as an edge, is the fact that he can dually do both of those roles. So the Okwara brothers did their thing. Obviously, Romeo took that big pay cut, so you would think he would have solidified a spot possibly. And then lastly, Starling Thomas. So he wears number 47. So I was like, is that a linebacker out there? Because that's kind of a weird number for a defensive back. But I kept saying, I'm like, who is this 47 guy that seems to be around the ball quite a bit? So I look it up and I'm like, okay, this is that other guy, the guy that they've been ranting and raving about quite a bit. So it was good to see him active and around the ball. You look for guys that are always around the ball when it's when that whistle blows.
But you know what scared me about him wearing 47?
What's up?
It's like usually that's linebacker, running back, maybe a safety number, never a corner. And when you get a number like that, it's like, oh, he ain't gonna be here long.
And he was an undrafted free agent, so I'm sure he had the last dibs on. You see Bridgewater wearing 50. Like, we know Bridgewater gonna be here.
I mean,
waiting for y'all to get cut so he can get his number.
Yeah. So when Nate go anyway, yeah.
He can take his number for sure. What's that, 14 or whatever?